Serbs Stand Alone, a game of Untold World War II in Yugoslavia. This is Greg, back with another completely unprofessional wargaming review. 2 weeks ago, I unboxed this game. I've played it several times. I've had several conversations with Andreja, who designed the game, about how it's supposed to work, how actions are supposed to be taken, also the philosophy behind the game, as your Chetniks who are trying to have more control definitely over Serbia, but over the whole Yugoslavia, while at the same time trying to eliminate Germans, while at the same time trying to eliminate not too many Germans. You're the partisans, you're trying to equally eliminate enough Axis powers, but not too many. You're not trying to overplace yourself in places which are a little remote. You're trying also to help get the Red Army onto the board, which never happened in this playthrough. So this is the way that the playthrough ended. These notes are basically my notes to help me with some key things to remember, some ways to set up. You're going to make sure that you note how many Axis units you destroy on both sides, plus what you mark off there, because you're always putting Axis powers back on the board, but you need to know that for the end game. We also have support and activation. A basic turn is you read the event, do the event, or acknowledge the event for the end of the turn. Use your support number, which starts out 2 and 1, to place support, which might or might not eliminate enemy units. And then you're taking your activations, which are things like movement, reinforcement, pressing attacks, things like that. This is the basic side, which is very basic. There's 2 pages of rules. And I'm going to try out the advanced game in a little while. So what do I think about the game? First, the game's really tight. You don't have a lot of units to play with, even whenever you liberate these zones, which start something like this, for example. You have these Axis units that you're trying to get rid of, but they're going to come back on the board until a certain point. And these Axis units are going to come back on the board until a certain point. And you're just trying to gain power around the board. The one thing I will say that I had an issue with, outside of the rulebook and things like that, which there's some translation issues, but that's going to be worked on, and it's really fine. Andreja, like I said, was very helpful. The one difficulty I had on the philosophical side of the game, I know in 1943 that Italy surrenders. I also know that Italy stops taking care of their Yugoslavian friends here at turn 5. The question was, when I'm in turn 3, do I realize that that's going to happen? Did I know Italy was going to surrender in 1943? Because it definitely changes the way that you're trying to do some things over here. You're trying to position yourself in a way that when the Axis leave, you can fill the vacuum. But I'm not really sure how much knowledge they have of the situation. Not that much of a student. I've watched several videos, talked with Andreja quite a bit about the historical side of this stuff. So that was kind of my one sort of drawback, sort of issue with the game, how to manage that. What happened was the partisans, especially in these 2 areas, had a really hard time clearing out the Axis powers before it was a little bit too late. And because of that, they pushed into this area so that they could clean out the Chetniks who were already here in Belgrade. But that just meant that I didn't have enough activations to clean up some of the board at the end. But all in all, I think it's really fun. The basic game is quite that. It's very basic. You're not going to see anything super crazy. The combat is a little different, so it takes a little bit of time to get your head around. But other than that, there you go. First playthrough with actually playing all the rules mostly correctly, I hope. This ended up being a slight Chetnik victory. So really fun, and really enjoy the game, and I really appreciate receiving it in the mail and being able to talk about it with you.